What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the stream, and today is our very first draft day. I gotta be honest, I'm a little bit nervous because I have not tried out this new system at all. So scouting I try to do manually, and I think I might have screwed the pooch a little bit. Also a little bit worried about how quickly I'll have to be making my picks, but we're gonna do this on the fly because you know what? Screw it, we'll do it live. All right, so let's go to the draft. We have the 8th pick, I believe. Okay. Okay. 4 minutes. Oh, 4 minutes. I thought it was 3, so 4 is probably good. Okay, good. That's fine. That's fine. All right, let's get rolling. So we do have the 8th pick, and the first pick in the draft is going to be. Well, you're gonna tell me who it is? Alfonso Guzman. Shortstop, JUCO College. Okay. I would love to skip these presentations, although I do not know how. Alright, so the Nats are going to take Orrin Cook. He is a left fielder. Okay. Alright, this is the Tigers. Taking Jerome Black, a first baseman. And let's go. We are ready to go through this. Let's see. Alright, someone was the next pick. Alright, so we are ready to go. Let me take a look at the prospects right now. I put all these guys on my list here, but okay, so we only want to take guys that I've scouted so far. So I do like the pitchers I have. Oh, let's see. All these first basemen these third basemen I went hard at scouting. They're probably not good enough to be drafted here. So I'm probably going to have to lean on pitcher in this situation, which is fine. I did a really deep dive on the pitchers, and this is a pretty deep pitching draft. So the Richie Aubrey is not a guy I scouted. I'm okay not going for first baseman. Yeah, another first baseman there, and a catcher. Okay, so it really does look like the pitchers are the way to go. All right. Brian Lucas, 4-year senior. He's got leads his per 9 numbers with the Ks per 9. Good pitch velocity control. Needs some work. Breaks pretty good. I can't believe that they don't show you the pitches in this game. Personally, I do like Brian Lucas. That's probably the leader in the clubhouse. He's 70% scouted. With a really high potential, basically guaranteed. Jeff Bone. Okay. Doesn't throw as much of velocity. I think that Lucas is the easy pick here. So that was pretty simple and easy. So 22-year-old out of college should have an overall in the 70s. Now I'm going to bump that down. I have a system to bump guys down. So potentials are going to get knocked down by 4 arbitrarily across the board. And then overalls will be limited to 68 maximum for a guy who is 22 years old, which is fine. That's like a year away from making the majors. So not too, concerned about that. All right, so let's go forward. Let's sim to our next pick. Oh, don't want to do that. Okay, let's see what we've got left for scouted prospects. We still got a decent amount of pitchers. Okay, so this is pick 43. Might be time to look at one of those third basemen. I did like a couple of them, and we're right in the wheelhouse for those guys right now. However, their potentials aren't super high. Let's see. All right. I do have another pick, 74, so it'll be after this round. I don't think either of these two guys are going to be there. So that's something I need to take into account. Good contact numbers. Decent defender. Plays left field, which is good because I was considering having one of these guys go play outfield at some point. Okay, this guy here, huge contact numbers, decent power, although not outstanding. Pretty good fielder. Okay, both of these guys interest me. I don't think any of those other guys are worthy of being picked here. Bonner's a guy I'll look at next round. There was a center fielder I liked, but it looks like he is already gone. So these guys are not very well scouted. Let me peek in here, though. Yeah, I didn't really like the outfield class very much. And I can't risk taking a guy like that that's not scouted. I might have to switch up to do more individual scouting next time around. I try to do more of like broad scouting. Okay, I got a couple of guys who I think with the next pick I'll like, Munoz and that shortstop. So let me go look at the pitchers real quick. So pretty high potentials for a couple of these guys. 35%, he's not very well scouted. This is a guy who could get next round, but he doesn't have strikeouts per 9. I don't really want that guy at all. Leroy, low strikeouts per 9. I'm trying to avoid, even with the potentials say that they're pretty high, I'm going to avoid them if they don't have very good strikeout per 9 numbers. All right. Floyd. Okay. Let's see. 50 to 72. Doesn't seemingly throw that hard. So I think I will take one of those third basemen. Yeah, I think both of these guys are good options. 74 to 84, 69 to 84. The starting overall doesn't bother me necessarily that much. Nice balance of contact and power. This one could use some work. I think I like Robbie Lewis a little bit more. Power, so just slightly less, but better vision, better discipline, and higher contact numbers. 80 and 93, 99 and 88. Switch hitter, I do like that. Ooh, man, I'm having a little trouble deciding here. I have 45 seconds, though. You know what? I'm going to play with this guy here because this guy looks like he might be a good option. So Robbie Lewis is going to be our second pick. High schooler. So I went advanced pitcher in the first round and young high schooler in the second round. All right. Now I think we'll be able to kind of pick up the pace a little bit more here. So let's see what we still got scouted. Let's see, that shortstop Bonner is still there. Munoz is still there. Those are the two favorites I had. Castilla's kind of falling a little bit. Let's see why. 49 to 66 overall. Pitch velocity. I do have another pick here, so I might want to pounce on one of these two guys. I really do like Munoz quite a bit. But his potential's not that high. He's only 76 potential maximum. So what was that shortstop? An 86 potential? I might take a shot in the dark. He's not as scouted as I would like in this situation. But let's go with it. Let's go with it. Wouldn't mind. I mean, maybe we hit on his potential. We'll see in the future. Okay. So let's get back to our next pick. All right. Still have a couple of third basemen left scouted. We still have... Okay, so that one pitcher's gone. Cabrera's interesting. Okay. Good velocity, good strikeouts. All right, so Cabrera is an early leader for pick here. All right, we like Cabrera. Let's go back. Munoz is still there. I'm probably going to wait one more round just because I know his potential is maxed out at the 76 maximum. Let me look at some of the guys. Could possibly take. Do I have another pick before 114? I do. What other pitchers are available? That's, I think, what's going to be determined if I want to take that shot in the dark. Okay. Guys around this area here. Okay, so there are a couple of pitchers back here that I could try to take shots on. I'm going to go with that first baseman. Let's see what he could possibly be. It's very, very juicy if he turns out. Now, it's likely that he's going to be a bust. I'm ready for that to be the case, but we're going to take that shot in the dark. We're going to take a chance here, 18-year-old. So let's go to our next pick now. Okay, so far I think the draft is panning out decently. We'll see how everything kind of goes. Wow, okay, the pitchers have disappeared. However, still a guy I could deal with, although he is 23. I don't love that. I'm kind of surprised to see the pitchers fly off the board like that right then and there. But all right, what else do we have scouted? We still have some third baseman. I'll look at maybe taking another one. Center fielders, right fielders. Okay, so that right fielder is gone. Okay. All right. No power. No power. Yeah, I'm going to have to do more focused scouting next time instead of more broad, too broad. I think that was probably what my drawback was. Because there's a lot of players I have no interest in drafting whatsoever. So I tried to do the scout position thing, and I think that was where I kind of fell a little bit short in this draft. But that's okay. You know, I'm learning. I'm trying to figure out the system. This is an interesting guy. Don't love what he's showing for his abilities, but he's kind of even across the board with some good speed. So this is a guy that's interesting. So Zarate, and yeah, so Zarate in center field. This guy is a pretty elite defender, a little less bat skills, more contact. Okay, I already took a third baseman. I've taken quite a few young guys, so I don't know if I want to go there. Suecos. And then here. Okay, so what's left on my scouting board? We got Richard Webb. I can't trust that that's going to be like a 40 overall. We already took the first baseman, so I don't want to take another one. What do we got here? 18-year-old. Could take a shot in the dark for Keith Finney. I think I like Keith Finney a little bit more. Interesting. So we've got Finney, Carey. We had a center fielder. And okay. So Finney and Carey. Those are only two starting pitchers left. Okay. Finney, Carey. There was Zarate. So Zarate, I might go here because he's got a decent looking potential. And then I can't remember what the last guy was. Finney, Karate, and Carey. Okay, I'm gonna go Karate, and let's see who's left after. Or I'm sorry, Zarate, and let's see who's left after this round. Okay, let's see it. Should be interesting to see how that guy pans out. All right, Will Carey is left, and okay, Cesar Gonzalez is still available. I think I'm interested in taking that shot at Will Carey. That works for me. All right, so we should have one pick left. I have nobody left. Just Vernon Gonzalez. Doesn't really interest me. Okay, who is left in all of these positions? Starting pitchers are gone. We do have some relievers left. That's probably what I'm going to look at. Catchers are left. Okay. Left fielders, we got some left. There's a guy with 90. All right. I think that the catchers or a reliever. Let's see what's left here for catcher. More defense. I'm looking for a catcher who can hit a little bit. This guy can. So that's interesting. Robert Reyes. Okay. And then what do we got for relief pitchers? We're looking for guys who throw smoke. So Henderson, Rosado. Shepherd. I wish I could see how fast these guys threw. Okay. No, Shepherd's out. Henderson probably out. Rosado. Okay, Rosado's probably the only one I want to consider. So we've got Rosado with some pretty good smoke. He's got some good Ks per 9. So Rosado and Reyes. You know what? I think pitchers are pretty easy to acquire. Catcher's a little bit harder, so I'd rather swing for a catcher. Yeah, pitchers are really easy to acquire, specifically relievers who throw smoke. So, all right. That is going to be the end of our first draft. Unfortunately, this year, I won't be able to show you how good the players are. And it takes a little while to do some simming because I've been going day by day and there's been a lot of injuries and stuff. So I won't be able to show you the rest of that. I will, next time I see you guys, which will be the trade deadline episode, I will hopefully be able to show you everything. Okay, so let's recap some of the things that happened. We did have a pretty decent April. We were actually above 500, so you see a lot of green on here. But then we started to kind of fall off. We were playing a little bit below 500 ball in May, and then you see June and July have been bad to us. So we are sitting 14 games under 500, 22 and a half back in the division. But that's okay. We weren't expected to do all that much this year. Just to recap some moves I made. I did end up sending MJ Melendez down after a couple of weeks. I wanted him to get some regular ABs, and he was off to a pretty slow start. He wasn't getting in the lineup too consistently, and so I sent him down to AAA, and he has been playing pretty well. So we've been getting some bumps to a couple of his departments where he needs it, mostly that contact, right? So that's pretty good. Salvador Perez did get hurt for a couple weeks, so I did bring him back up and got him in the lineup for regular bats for about 12 or 13 days, because that's about how long Salvi was out. And he was hitting like .97 when I sent him down, so he did have a pretty good couple weeks. So the regular bats have been good for him. The other thing I did is I stopped messing around with Jackie Bradley Jr. in the lineup. He was hitting like under the Mendoza line. He's still in the lineup against lefties. He's surprisingly hitting lefties pretty good this year, which caught me off guard because I wanted to keep Kyle Isbell out of the lineup against lefties. So I moved Hunter Dozier in the lineup, and Hunter Dozier has been okay. He was hitting for a little bit better power a couple weeks ago, but you see now he's dipped under that 400 mark. I was hoping for him to stay hot so I could look to move him at the deadline, but I think at this juncture right now, it's unlikely we'll get any type of return from him. And then the last thing I want to do before I show you some of the players now they've done, show you the injury list. The sliders I have been creating a lot of injuries. I think it's borderline too many, but I'm not too upset with it. I think it's been pretty realistic. A lot of just, nicks and cuts and little stuff like that, but we got some pretty serious injuries here. Framil Reyes was having a moderate season, but he is out with a broken forearm. Nick Prado I ended up sending down to AAA because he just couldn't put bat to baseball with enough frequency, but he was hitting for some good pop. He was playing at AAA, and then he broke his ankle, so he's out. Taylor Clark is a relief pitcher we lost. He was having a pretty good year out of the bullpen. Matt Duffy tore his hamstring. He was having a pretty decent season by his standards. One of the guys, this is not really a prospect because he's deep potential, but he was having a pretty good start to AA. He has been out with a dislocated ankle for the entire season, basically, and no chance of coming back. One of our prospects, TJ Sikkema, he was having a decent start to the season, but he has a head fracture. He is out. So quite a bit of guys on the injured list, as you can see. So take a look at our roster. You see Nicky Lopez. This is what Nicky Lopez does. He hits about 260. Can't even hit for 100 ISO, but he plays good defense. His WAR is a little over 1.5 or something like that. So it is what it is. I might look to move Nicky Lopez. I don't love his numbers. He just can't hit for enough average. He doesn't take walks at a high clip, so not a guy I love. Bobby Witt's having a pretty big power year, and his average is acceptable, but he's got to take more walks. That on-base base percentage is bad. I need to make sure that I'm training his discipline using the hitting coach because that's something he needs to work on if he wants to become a bona fide star. Salvi, hitting for big-time power. Again, another guy who needs to take more walks, but he should. I'm going to look to trade him. He's got 4 years left on his deal, but I'm going to try to move him early while we can get still a really good return from him. Vinny Pasquantino, this guy, I am buying into the hype of him for the future. He has had a very good season. You see the numbers there. Surprisingly, not gaining a ton of numbers for just his growth overall. So a little surprised to see that. Hunter Dozier, we talked about. Edward Olivares is doing okay. Not bad. He's definitely a replacement player level player. Kyle Isbell was having a decent season, but he's kind of cooled off a bit. He gives really good defense. What's his WAR? Probably pretty good because he's been playing center field. 0.8, so acceptable, although not outstanding. Drew Waiters was struggling in the minors. We brought him up. I'm probably just going to let him play through this and have him try to figure it out. He doesn't have a ton of time to mess around down in the minors, so we'll see what happens. Nate Eaton is a guy who was just killing the ball in AAA and really contributing all over the diamond. We brought him up because of some of the injuries, and not bad. The power has been pretty good. Want to see the contact numbers a little bit better than that, but this is a guy to monitor going forward. Nobody really to talk about other than Freddie Furman there, who, again, nice contact, nice average, good power, needs to take more walks. Pretty common theme for our guys. Okay. Nick Lofton was hurt for a good amount of the year, but you see he is back and scorching hot at AAA. We talked about MJ Melendez. Tyler Gentry is one of our prospects. He's doing okay. Good power numbers there. Matt Beatty's not a prospect. Diego Hernandez is a prospect. He was in AA killing the ball. We brought him up. He's killing the ball again. So Diego Hernandez might be pushing for a 40-man roster spot this offseason. Michael Garcia started to pick it up a little bit as the season's gone on, although the season numbers are not great. Peyton Wilson forced to call up to AA because of how he's playing. Forced to call up to AAA because of how he's playing at AA. We had some injuries, so spot for him there. Tucker Bradley, not bad. Another one of our prospects. And, okay, nobody else there is a prospect. Gabe Cross, our top prospects, had a pretty good season. I want to see a little more power out of him. You see he's dropped a little bit there. But overall, pretty good season. He hasn't quite grown any overall, which is surprising to me at this point. But we'll see where he finishes at the end of the season. Overall, not too disappointed in him. Luca Tresh, he has had a pretty decent growth season, but not that great at the dish. Caden Wallace, another one of our prospects, B potential. He's getting the growth. Season's been up and down for him. Seems like he's kind of improved since the last time I looked in on him. And that should cover all of the hitters. Let's check out the pitchers. You see Zach Greinke's overall has been torched. I think he started at like a 77, 78 or something like that. Still pitching okay. FIP and component ERA have been rising in recent weeks. Brady Singer's been good after that kind of rough opening day start. Not bad, looking like a mid-rotation guy. Brad Keller's been meh. I don't know if we're going to be able to move Brad Keller. We'll see what we can get for some offers. One of the surprising guys that's been on our team is Ryan Yarbrough, who might get moved at the deadline. He has, I don't know how he's doing that. His numbers and makeup aren't great, but his attributes aren't great, but man, this guy's been very good. And since he's a lefty, there might be some teams interested in him at the deadline. Daniel Lynch hasn't been great. Josh Taylor's been good on the bullpen, so this is a guy we might look to move as a lefty reliever. That's pretty good. Dylan Coleman's been really good, although only in 16 2/3 innings. Josh Stamont, okay, not great. Carlos Hernandez, he's only been up for a little bit. The whip is concerning. Amir Garrett's been pretty good. We'll probably look to move him at the deadline. I don't know what's happening to Aroldis Chapman's overall. He's not pitching very well, for one. But yeah, there's just this service time bug where once somebody's over a certain amount of service time, it just says, nope, you're good. You're just going to torture overall. I don't know why the game is coded like that. I really hope they fix that. And then Scott Barlow has been outstanding. We are definitely going to look to move him at the deadline. Looking at some of our prospects, Angel Zerpa, been okay, not great. Matt Castillo, same deal. Chris Bubich has been bad. He's probably going to get non-tendered this offseason. Alec Marsh has been pretty good, though. He's already up to that 70 overall, looking pretty good. He's looking for a 40-man roster spot this offseason. Bowlin, not great. Kolar has been interesting, but his overall is way too low, so he might end up being non-tendered. Asa Lacy has been very good out of the bullpen. He's actually kept the walk numbers extremely in check. So that's something that's really good to see out of him. See the +4 to the base on balls per 9. And then down here, not too much to talk about. These guys are all pitching prospects for us. Beckway has been pitching out of the bullpen most of the year. He's looked pretty good. Andrew Hoffman, And Chandler Champlin, okay. Will Klein's a guy who's interests me. He's pitched really good out of the bullpen. Might try to push him to AAA before the season is over. And I think that's all I want to push. I did push Ben Kudner. I don't even know how to say that. I'm not going to try anymore. Because we did have some injuries, and I figured, let's just get him a little bit of work. He's about that 60 overall, which I like to do for guys to push into AA. So that's everything I got for you guys. I will see you guys at the trade deadline video. We'll do some trades then. We're looking at how our draft guys panned out to be, and I'll see you next time. In the meantime, between time, hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm gone. Deuces.